Let me tell you something nobody prepares you for when you're young. You were going to lose people. Not because you became a bad person. Not because they became evil. Not because somebody betrayed somebody. Sometimes you lose friends because you grew. And that shit hurts. You wake up one morning and realize the guy you used to talk to every single day is now basically a stranger. The group chat that once had 300 messages before breakfast is now dead. You see their name pop up and think, damn, when did we stop being close? And here's the brutal truth: you cannot grow without outgrowing certain people. When you're young, friendship is easy. You sit next to someone in class, you play football together, you work together, you live in the same neighborhood, you go out every weekend, boom, you're best friends. You don't need a strategy. You don't need a calendar. You don't need to schedule a meeting 3 weeks in advance just to say, bro, are you free Saturday? Life does it for you. Then you grow up. Suddenly everybody has responsibilities. Someone gets a job. Someone starts a business. Someone gets married. Someone moves to another city. Someone starts chasing a dream. Someone spends every night working while another person spends every night partying. And slowly, without some dramatic fight, the friendship starts disappearing. That's one of the strangest parts of growing up. You don't always lose people through betrayal. Sometimes you lose them through distance, priorities, timing, and change. Research actually backs this up. A 2025 study looking at friendship patterns across ages 15 to 97 found that contact with friends generally declines from young adulthood, stabilizes somewhat in midlife, and changes again later. So if you're sitting there thinking, why the hell am I losing friends? Maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe you're just growing up. But here's where people make the mistake. They panic. They start chasing people who are no longer walking in the same direction. They keep sending messages. Bro, where have you been? Bro, let's hang out. Bro, remember the old days? Yeah, remember them. But don't live there. Because your past deserves respect, not permanent residence. There are people who are perfect for one chapter of your life who are completely wrong for the next chapter. And that's okay. Think about school. You probably had that one friend you thought you'd know forever. You made stupid jokes together. You got into trouble together. You probably laughed at things that weren't even funny. You could literally look at each other across the classroom and start laughing like complete idiots. And you thought, this is my brother. Then life happened. You graduated. You went different directions. And suddenly you realize you haven't spoken in 2 years. At first, you feel guilty. You think, maybe I should reach out. And sometimes you should. But sometimes the friendship wasn't destroyed. It simply completed its purpose. That's a hard sentence to accept. Because we have been taught that real friendship means forever. It doesn't. Real friendship means real. If someone was there for you during a difficult period, made you laugh when you needed it, helped you become stronger, or gave you memories you'll never forget, that friendship mattered even if it didn't last forever. Not everything valuable has to be permanent. A sunset isn't worthless because it ends. A great song doesn't become garbage because the final note plays. And a friendship doesn't become fake just because life eventually separated you. But there's another brutal truth. Sometimes you're not losing friends because you're growing. Sometimes you're losing them because you've changed in a direction they don't understand. You start taking your life seriously. You stop wasting every weekend. You start working out. You start building something. You stop drinking every night. You stop gossiping. You stop needing everyone's approval. You start saying no. And suddenly people who were comfortable with the old version of you start asking, why are you acting different? You're not acting different. You are different. That's the point. You can't spend 5 years becoming a stronger person and expect everybody to remain comfortable with the weaker version of you. Some people loved your availability. They didn't love your growth. Some people loved you when you had no boundaries. They don't like you now that you have them. Some people loved you when you had no ambition. Because your ambition reminds them of what they aren't doing. And here's where you need to be careful. Don't become arrogant. Don't start thinking you're better than everybody because you read 3 books and started going to the gym. That's another trap. You don't need to look down on people just because you're choosing a different road. Growth isn't permission to become an asshole. You can outgrow someone without disrespecting them. You can move forward without insulting the people standing still. You can become ambitious without thinking everyone else is beneath you. That's maturity. And here's something else you need to understand. You don't need 50 friends. You don't even need 20. You need a few people who actually mean something. A 2026 ARP friendship study found that 95% of adults surveyed said friends are essential to a happy and healthy life, while nearly half said making new friends gets harder with age. Read that again. Friendship matters. So don't use "I'm focused on success" as an excuse to become socially isolated. That's bullshit. You don't need to eliminate everyone. You need to upgrade the quality of your relationships. Because there is a massive difference between being alone and being lonely. Being alone can be powerful. Being lonely can destroy you. And one of the longest running studies of adult life, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, has repeatedly found that strong relationships are deeply connected with health and well-being. So don't become the guy who says, "I don't need anybody." That's not strength. That's often just hurt wearing sunglasses. You need people. You just need the right people. People who can celebrate your wins without secretly competing with you. People who can tell you you're wrong without trying to destroy you. People who don't disappear when you're struggling. People who don't only call when they need something. People who respect your boundaries. People who want to see you win and who are willing to work on themselves too. That's the circle you want. And yes, your circle will probably get smaller, but smaller doesn't necessarily mean worse. Imagine having 30 people around you and trusting none of them. Now imagine having 3 people you could call at 2 a.m. and know they'd answer. Which life would you choose? Exactly. Quality beats quantity. And here's where growing up gets painful. You will sometimes have to accept that somebody you love is no longer good for your life. Not because they're a terrible person, not because they deserve punishment, but because the relationship keeps pulling you backward. Maybe every time you meet them, all you do is complain. Maybe every conversation becomes gossip. Maybe they mock every goal you have. Maybe they constantly pressure you to return to habits you're trying to escape. Maybe they only recognize you when you're the old version of yourself. And eventually, you have a decision. Do you protect the friendship, or do you protect your future? That's not an easy decision. But sometimes your future requires a difficult goodbye. And listen carefully, you don't always need a dramatic goodbye. You don't need to send a 5-paragraph message saying, "Dear former friend, after extensive personal reflection, I have decided our friendship no longer aligns with my values." What are you, a fucking corporation? Sometimes you just stop forcing it. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop trying to recreate something that naturally ended. You let life breathe. If they reach out, talk. If they don't, keep moving. Because desperation kills relationships. If someone wants to be in your life, let them walk beside you. Don't drag them behind you. And don't crawl behind them either. Walk forward. Because the biggest mistake you can make is becoming obsessed with who left instead of becoming excited about who you're becoming. You spend hours checking their social media. They're having fun. They're hanging out. They're posting pictures. And you're sitting there thinking, they replaced me. No, they continued living. And you need to continue living too. Social media makes this worse because you see everybody's highlight reel. You see the vacation, the party, the new friends, the birthday dinner, the smiles. You don't see the awkward silence after the camera stops. You don't see their problems. You don't see their insecurities. You don't see what happens when the phone goes down. So stop comparing your private pain to somebody else's public performance. And stop romanticizing the past. You remember the best moments. You forget the boring ones. You remember the nights laughing. You forget the arguments. You remember the jokes. You forget why you wanted to change. Your brain is going to tell you things were better back then. Were they? Or were you simply younger? There's a difference. Sometimes you're not missing the person. You're missing who you were when you were with them. And that's deep. You miss being carefree. You miss having fewer responsibilities. You miss having nothing to worry about. You miss feeling like the future was far away. But you can't go backward. So don't try. Build something new. Meet new people. Join a gym. Start a business. Play a sport. Take a class. Go somewhere you've never been. Talk to people. Be uncomfortable. Because one of the worst things you can do after losing friends is sit in your room waiting for new friendships to magically appear. They won't. Friendship requires proximity. It requires effort. It requires shared experiences. It requires showing up. And here's the beautiful part. When you grow, you don't only lose people, you create space for better relationships. You meet someone who shares your ambition, someone who understands why you're working late, someone who doesn't laugh at your goals, someone who says, let's build, someone who challenges you, someone who pushes you, someone who doesn't need you to shrink so they can feel comfortable. And suddenly you understand why some friendships had to end. Because there was no room for the new people while you were desperately holding on to the old ones. That's life. Doors close. Doors open. People leave. People arrive. You change. They change. And the only thing you can control is what you do next. So if you're currently losing friends, stop immediately assuming you're failing. Ask better questions. Why are we drifting apart? Is it distance? Is it life? Is it lack of effort? Is it different values? Is the friendship unhealthy? Or are you simply entering different seasons? Be honest. Don't blame everything on growth. Sometimes you screwed up. Sometimes you neglected people. Sometimes your ego got too big. Sometimes you stopped checking on the people who mattered. Growth also means taking responsibility. If you messed up, apologize. If the friendship can be repaired, repair it. Don't throw away good people just because you're trying to become a better person. Your ambition shouldn't make you careless. Your discipline shouldn't make you cold. Your success shouldn't make you forget the people who helped you survive before anyone knew your name. Remember who was there when you had nothing. Remember who believed in you before the results. Remember who picked up the phone. Remember who sat with you when you were broken. Those people matter. And if you've got someone like that in your life right now, don't assume they'll always be there. Call them. Text them. Take them out. Tell them you appreciate them. Because one day you'll realize something terrifying. You don't miss most people when they leave. You miss them when you realize you never told them they mattered. So don't make that mistake. And if someone has already left, forgive them. Forgive yourself. Keep the lesson. Release the bitterness. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove that you're doing better. You don't need them to regret leaving. You need to become so focused on your life that their opinion becomes irrelevant. That's freedom. The goal isn't to have everybody stay. The goal is to become someone who can handle people staying. People leaving, success, failure, love, rejection, loneliness, and change without losing yourself. That's strength. Because life is going to keep taking people in and out of your story. Some will stay for a decade, some for a year, some for a season, some for one unforgettable night. And some will only teach you what you don't want in your next friendship. Let them. Don't curse the chapter because it ended. Be grateful it happened. Then turn the page. Because your life isn't over because somebody walked away. Your life isn't smaller because the group chat went quiet. Your future isn't doomed because your old friends don't understand your goals. And you are not alone just because your circle changed. You're evolving. You're learning. You're becoming. And sometimes becoming requires separation. So stop begging people to stay where they no longer belong. Stop chasing people who stopped chasing you. Stop trying to resurrect friendships that only exist in your memories. Stop fearing the empty seat. Because that empty seat might be the exact space you needed for someone new. Someone better aligned. Someone who sees your future instead of constantly reminding you of your past. And remember this, you don't need everyone to understand your journey. They don't have to. They weren't given your dreams. They weren't given your mind. They weren't given your responsibilities. They weren't given your future. You were. So walk, build, work, laugh, meet people, love people, forgive people. And when someone leaves, don't collapse. Take the lesson, take the memories, take the strength, and keep fucking moving. Because the brutal truth about losing friends as you grow is that sometimes losing them isn't the tragedy. The tragedy is losing yourself trying to keep them. Don't do that. Grow, and let your life reveal who is meant to grow with you.